So one of the other ways that we defined spirituality, or defined spiritual growth, was reducing our dependence upon the external world. Reducing our dependence upon the external world for what? Because, I mean, you've got to eat, right? You can't say, I'm spiritual now, I don't have to eat food. And so when we talk about reducing our dependence on the world, dependence for what? Think of it this way, what is it that we are all pursuing?
Unbroken happiness.
Unbroken happiness.
Yes.
There it is. So a spiritually mature person is not dependent upon anything that the world has to offer for her unbroken happiness, for her sense of satisfaction, for her sense of well-being, for her identity. You know, a great example very recently came up in one of our classes. A grandmother was holding her newborn grandchild, and she was recounting that time when she first had her own children. And she said, she just looked down at this infant and she said, all of a sudden my life just had so much meaning and so much purpose. Right? So it's a beautiful feeling. But what happens is, 18 years later, the child leaves and empty nest syndrome occurs. Empty nest syndrome, I heard someone say this is a different person, but she said, when my children leave, I'm only a mother. So once my children leave, then what am I? I mean, it's a good question. So the point that we're making here is that she has defined herself as a mother. That's her self-definition. What that means is when the children no longer need you for their physical safety and their emotional support and their guidance through life, and when they become self-sufficient, your status as a mother is gone. And if that's how you've defined yourself, then you face an existential crisis. So this is what we're talking about, dependency. We don't depend upon the external world for our sense of well-being, satisfaction, or our self-definition. That comes from within. So this is the effect of the practice. There's nothing wrong with choosing a course through life that is in line with your nature. In fact, you should. You know, a good example of this is I know a friend of mine at university. Went through 4 years of study, then worked for 3 or 4 years in industry, got married, had a couple of kids, and their roles changed. He stayed at home while she went out to work. And he said, I've found my niche. All that studying, all that working, no, I'm a stay-at-home dad. This is who I am. He suddenly realized, you know, this is my nature. So if you're a parent, if you're a mum or mom, if that's what you are, be that. And be it to your children, and when they leave home, you, as you say, you become a parent or a mother figure to others. There's nothing wrong with doing that. There's nothing wrong with enjoying that and serving the world in that way. But the moment you depend upon that status for your sense of satisfaction, you're in trouble, right? Because the moment that either you can no longer fulfill that, or others don't want to receive it, then if you lose that status, that's when you face the existential crisis. And it's not good. And this is, you know, the whole idea of a midlife crisis. You know, a person defined himself as a particular way. I was young, healthy, strong, dynamic. I was creative, and then sort of naturally our energies start to wane over a period of time. People's interest in us starts to wane over a period of time. Who am I? If I'm young and beautiful, that's fantastic, but what happens when I'm in my 50s and I'm not as young and beautiful as I was? If I depended upon that for my sense of stability, for my sense of self, then I will be in trouble. Now, we're not saying don't enjoy it. In fact, it's quite the other way around. We're saying enjoy it while it lasts. But recognize that nothing lasts forever. So while it's there, revel in it, experience it fully. You're a human being, enjoy your human life. But don't become bound by it. Don't become dependent upon it. Then you're free to enjoy whatever you like. Right? And one of the analogies that we often use to describe this, I might have used this example already. You imagine when you're very, very young, you enjoy playing with toys. You seek toys, you want toys. If someone takes your toys away, you suffer. Now you're an adult. Okay, you have a niece or a nephew. Auntie, come play with me. I want to go and play toys with you. Okay, fine. So you get down and you play with toys. you go down there, you play with the toys, you're free to do so. You even enjoy playing with the toys, but you're not dependent. If all of a sudden the toy game has to stop for whatever reason, you're fine. You get up, you walk away, unaffected. The child, if they are dragged away from the toy game, they suffer. So you as an adult enjoy the world without being dependent upon it. That's the kind of freedom that we're trying to visualize, understand, and get to.